Alright. I want you to imagine this. In a village that we call the Leaf Village, there lives a government in which one of the members, Dr. Villager, turns out to be a very corrupt individual. Okay, but what does that actually mean? Like, I always see on the news that some countries have corrupt governments, but that term is way too vague for me. Well, you're at the perfect place, because today, we're gonna be learning corruption. No, not that corruption. This corruption through Minecraft. I hope you enjoy. So first, what is a general definition for corruption? Well, an internet definition would be the dishonest or fraudulent use of entrusted power or authority for private gain. Wow, so many big words. This definition itself actually highlights a very important point, that it comes from a place of power. Let's go back to Dr. Villager being in the Leaf Village government. Corruption involves him abusing the power that he has as a government official to his own private gain. So how is this done exactly? While there are numerous ways that corruption is done, most boil down to 4 different methods. Let's commence the cool transition. Bribery, embezzlement, extortion, favoritism. Let's start with bribery. This is the act of offering or receiving something of value to influence the actions of someone in power. Say that a company called Explosion Inc., owned by a man named Set, is under threat due to a new bill that could hurt their profits. Well, I mean, Set is a very rich man, so he asks to meet Dr. Villager one-on-one, where he bribes him with a mountain of emeralds under the agreement that he advocates and votes against the new bill coming up. And Dr. Villager, upon seeing this mountain of emeralds, it's really hard to resist. Now, this doesn't have to be under a government context either. Let's say that Explosion Inc.'s TNT has to go under a screening before being sold. Well, Set can bribe those who operate the screening to just overlook some of the faults on the TNT for a sum of emeralds. Wow, Set must be a very evil man. Next up, embezzlement. This is the act of misusing funds that are entrusted for someone's own gain. Dr. Villager could use some of the emeralds that were supposed to be used on the development of better roads for the construction of his new mansion instead. Now, it's good to note that Dr. Villager is not outright stealing funds from anyone else, which makes this different from theft. Dr. Villager is using the funds that were trusted with him in the wrong way. That is embezzlement. Another example of embezzlement can be Set using the company funds meant for Explosion Inc. instead for himself, misusing what was entrusted with him. 2 down, 2 to go. The third way, extortion. This one is definitely a much more serious one, as it involves obtaining something, either an item of value or a favor, through threats and force. Dr. Villager actually has this funny thing called influence and power, which he can use to force people of lesser power to comply with him. For Set, a good example would be those same people that he bribed to relax the screening. If someone doesn't comply with the initial bribe, he can instead threaten them with his influence and wealth, that if he doesn't stay quiet about this, Set can really make his life worse. Wow, now Set is really diving into deep waters. Now for the fourth way, favoritism. This one is a more publicly seen one. It involves the person of power giving more favor to either their friends or family. This could come in the form of Set eventually retiring and giving his position not to the most qualified member, but to his friend, Zero. For Dr. Villager, he may open up positions that support him. However, during the interviews to find a qualified member, he gives much more favor toward his children or relatives. Now, favoring family over others is known as nepotism. Like a nepo baby. and favoring friends and associates over others is known as cronyism. And these are the 4 most common ways corruption can occur. Corruption erodes trust in the government and causes panic in knowing what's real or not. If Dr. Villager was outed as an embezzling criminal, people would be much more suspicious of the tax put on their emeralds. So it's extremely important to have both accountability measures in government and transparency. If the Leaf Village government had known loopholes to avoid accountability and hid all of their expenses, I mean, you're just asking for corrupt behavior at that point. And from there, people would slowly lose their faith in the government. So for the Leaf Village to have transparency in exactly where the taxed emeralds are going, and to have frequent checks of those in power, corruption can be lessened significantly. And with that, that's all I have. Thank you for watching, best of luck with your studies, and bye bye.